Alright guys, how's it going? So in this video we're going to be covering the Athletic transfer deal sheet, which is literally everything from a load of different journalists at the Athletic talking about all the transfers in the Premier League, and there's a lot of sections about Liverpool, so we're going to cover all that in this video. We're going to be live tonight at 7 o'clock on this channel, guys, so make sure you're there for that. I fully expect Kirkes to be announced today before that, so we'll be covering that tonight. And yeah, if you do like this video, guys, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. I want to know your thoughts on everything in the video. And then just one other thing as well, guys, is the stuff in here that I've read it, and I don't think it's earth-shattering news. So if you think like might not be interested, you don't have to obviously watch this video, but stick around, guys, and see what you think about it. Because obviously some of this stuff that is being mentioned, the club want you to know. The only reason why it's been mentioned is because, let's say, Liverpool want us to know this, at least 99% of it anyway. So let's start. So the first part which we want to talk about in this is from David Ornstein, and it's in the section David Ornstein's One to Watch, and it's about Nunez. So he says here, a case to keep a close eye on involves Darwin Nunez. The Premier League champions are looking to sell, and the Uruguayan is keen to move on from Liverpool. Napoli's interest has been registered and an offer is expected in due course. Liverpool rejected £60 million bid from Saudi Arabia in January. I don't believe that. And the Italian champions are the most serious contenders for the player now. If and when Nunez departs, it may take time before a clear picture emerges of how Liverpool's front line will take shape. Their admirations for forwards such as Ekitike and Isaac is well documented, but there is nothing significant in motion at present. Liverpool have conducted impressive early work this summer with the signing of Frimpong, Wirtz and Kirkes, but that activity is likely to be followed by a pause while they observe market developments. Whether or not a direct replacement is acquired for Nunez, buying Wirtz has already changed the dynamic up front, with multiple options and combinations at his disposal. So what I want to take from that is that last bit there is that basically Ornstein's putting it out there, which is probably being fed by the club, that Liverpool may not sign a number 9 this summer because we've got Wirtz, who can play as a false 9 out on the left wing, a number 10, whichever. That's interesting because we've seen us linked with all these strikers, and you know there's been comments from, I think there was Scott last night, but there's been several other ones of you as well saying, you know, the transfer market for strikers is a bit crap this year, but it's expensive as well. And I kind of agree. Like, I don't think Ekitike is worth 100 million. I don't think Isaac's worth more than 150, but I think I said yesterday, if you can get him for like 120, 125, then, you know, that I'd see that as a good deal. But anything more than that, I think Newcastle are taking the piss a little bit. Do you know what I mean? But then again, just to contradict that, they're not really under any sort of pressure to sell him, so they can kind of do what they want. So interesting. One to watch, isn't it? The next bit about Liverpool is this bit here, and I think this is written by Shauno's best friend, James Pearce and Greg Evans. Yeah. So here we go. So this first bit is titled, Has Anything Happened Over the Past Week? Which we already know. We signed Wirtz. Kwanzaa's on his way to Bayer Leverkusen, and Kirkes is expected to be announced today. He's had his medical. He's having his second part of his medical today, as far as I'm aware. So that will happen today. Do Liverpool want to make changes up front is the next part. Yes. Moving on Darwin Nunez who is well liked at Napoli, has to be the priority. In order to justify signing another centre forward, so Pearce is contradicting a little bit what Ornstein just said by saying in order to justify signing another centre forward this summer, Liverpool now fixing up Nunez must come first. Receiving a sizable fee for the Uruguayan could then help fund the arrival of his replacement, which goes without saying. Elsewhere, moving on from Chiesa after a miserable first season at the club should be more straightforward with interest in Italy, and Liverpool have made it clear that they want to keep Diaz despite interest from clubs including Barcelona. I don't agree with that. I think Liverpool would sell. If someone offered them 60, 70 million for Diaz, I think he's gone. I really do. I think Nunez and Diaz are key to Liverpool going out there and signing one of these strikers for money. I think if Nunez and Diaz both go, we may see Liverpool move for an Isaac. I really do. If they move one of them on, it may be someone like an Ekatike or something like that. Next one is, what positions and players are they looking at? With Wirtz and Frimpong already added, attention turns to the centre forward position. Liverpool admire Isaac, but the deal is going to be very difficult given his huge valuation. Slot favours a certain type of striker as he looks for a player who works hard out of possession and can often lead the press. With Kwanzaa set to join Leverkusen, Liverpool also need a centre-back and ideally looking for a youngster with the potential to grow. Hato, the 19-year-old Ajax defender who can also play as a left-back, is expected to attract strong interest this summer and Liverpool could enter the conversation. Hato, as you guys probably remember, is one of those players that was at Liverpool's ground last season, invited by Ryan Gravenberch. I think he's the long-term successor to Virgil van Dijk, guys. I really do. I know a lot of people think he can play left-back, which he can, but I see him more as that left-sided centre-back, and I think he could be I honestly do. I think you go and buy him, and I think he's the replacement for Van Dijk in years to come. I really do. But this also ties in. I'm going to come back to the centre-back thing in a minute, because signing Hato, who plays left-back, I think he's attached to this bit here where it says, you know, players that could leave. Is Andy Robertson is weighing up his options, and Shimikas is waiting to find out whether opportunities will be affected by the arrival of Kirkez. And then further down, it says that there's interest in Owen Beck from the Premier League and Championship, but Liverpool are not. Oh God, I'm going to sneeze, guys. But the Premiership, but Liverpool are not trying to move him on so quickly, right? Now, I mentioned yesterday on the live stream that I could see a world where Liverpool move on Andy Robertson and Shimikas, and then your left backs are Kirkez and Owen Beck. And I think that's the reason why we may not be seeing Owen Beck move on right now, is because I think, depending on what Robbo says, I think Liverpool will let him go. If he turns around and says, yeah, and it's a World Cup year, I need to be playing, I'll go. I think Liverpool would let him go for like a nominal fee, say 10, 15 million or whatever. Shimikas, if someone comes in again with a similar offer, I reckon they'd let him go, which then means you've got Kirkez, Owen Beck. But, however, if Liverpool are then able to get Joel Hato, you could have Kirkez, Hato, and then loan out Owen Beck. That's my thought process for that. So that's why I skipped forward a little bit. Mark Gahey at Crystal Palace is rated, but with only 12 months left on his contract. Any follow-up interest in this window will depend heavily on the asking price. So again, you've moved on Kwanzaa, who was a homegrown talent. Mark Gahey is a homegrown talent, so I think that's where that came from there, because you need the numbers. And then another centre-back is Morello at Forest, but he's expected to be too high in valuation for Liverpool to go for him. Other players that could leave Liverpool is Harvey Elliott. He continues to put himself in the shop window with goals and impressive performances for England's under-21s. Tyler Morton and Stefan Bajcetic are other youngsters that are attracting interest. Nat Phillips has gone. Harvey Davis is joining Crawley on a season-long loan. And Joe Gomez, meanwhile, posted a social media post last week that he was proud of his decade at the club and adding that he was still hungry to keep going. The 28-year-old remains part of Liverpool's plans as they value his versatility. I kind of also think that I don't think anyone's going to be stupid enough to put money on the table for him, unfortunately. It'd be very interesting if he does end up staying, if Liverpool offer him a new contract, wouldn't it? Especially with his injuries and everything. So, anyway, guys, that's the end of that article. So, key takeaways are Nunez. Looks like he could be the next big person out of the door. I think Nunez and Diaz are key to who Liverpool sign as a striker. Left back, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Robbo and Shimikas both go this window, especially when you've got Owen Beck and potentially Joel Hato, who could play left back as a backup, and you've obviously got Kirkez as the left back. Gahey, again, you need that someone like that. And I honestly do think, guys, Liverpool need at least two centre-backs right now, with Kwanzaa going and the uncertainty around Kanate. And I think that's pretty much it, guys, isn't it? Yeah. So anyway, yeah, right, we'll leave it there. Let me know what you think down below, guys, on all of this. We'll be live again tonight at 7 o'clock, so be there for that. But until then, guys, I'll catch you in the next one.